motherfucker flipping. In fact, Oklahoma and the boo, we finna rip up the track. We put it down for the niggas that be stuck on the grind. Dodging haters, crackers, jackers, shiesty bitches in time. It's time to go get it. I spit it, lit it, and let some more hit it. Survive, driving my hustle into the flow with it. Want it, I get it, vivid, shoot, penetrating, rivet. Words come across so vivid because we live. Shit, I got to get it and blow this thing up. Now we done came a long way and we about to fuck the game up. That came up from Louisiana to the hills, down for that scratch. We just about to clock a million going forth, back and forth, east to west, south to north. Mobbing through your city, going nationwide. Now how many niggas wanna ride?
Absolutely retarded. And as these Iranians uncover more and more infants in the rubble, Israeli news is saying they did this to themselves.
You're saying Israel didn't do it?
Are you kidding me? And of course not. It was America, I swear. Just ask them. We're always the victims and never the bad guys.
They're saying they didn't do it. Are you going to take responsibility?
Look, we've been very clear about this. They did it to themselves because they're terrorists and stuff. We're actually just saving them from themselves.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this was a job that was generally given out to the girls or the children of the family. And I'm sure they did not appreciate it.
Oh my God!
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. It's fun and easy.
Iran, bad.
A quick question. Did you notice the streaks in the sky earlier?
You're a conspiracy theorist. Iran, bad.
What the heck?
Thanks, guys. As you can see, we have a flow of jet stream chemtrails spraying nanoparticulate with aluminum and barium. Expect a heavy metal fog that will be blamed on climate change.
Seems like people are starting to accept the Iran ban.
I think it's the fluoride and heavy metals interacting with their mRNA, but what do I know?
That's based. Let's see what Trumpstein is telling the normies.
That was a tremendous threat to us for many years. 47 years they've been killing our people and killing people from all over the world. And I think we have great support. And I think if we didn't do it first, they would have done it to Israel and give us a shot if that was possible.
Iran bad.
Brought to you by the Jews at BlackRock. Because you're not Joes.
If women, oh God, again? We're doing this again? Okay, let's
go through menstruation.
Oh, this is different. This is very different.
Then why don't men go through menstruation?
I will have you assassinated.
Have you tried our Goyslop Jr.? Made from 100% missing goyim. Perfect with sports ball and gambling.
I hate myself.
Enjoy cancer.
Goyslop Jr.
We've been given the green light to bomb the U.S. Now we just have to decide where to drop it. Any ideas?
How about New York?
Now what, and solve their crime and trash problem? No, not New York.
We could hit Chicago.
What, and cut their murder rate in half? No, not Chicago.
Los Angeles?
What, and solve homelessness? And for what purpose? To prevent Fast and Furious 19?
We could do Baltimore.
Or Philadelphia? Detroit?
No. God, there's got to be somewhere we can hit that doesn't make them stronger.
We could destroy the farmland.
Gates is already doing that.
Minneapolis?
Whose team are you even on? God, America's genius. Ruin their major cities just enough where attacking them doesn't make sense.
We could bomb Disney World.
Look, America may be our enemy, but we're not animals, okay?
Sick bastard.
I don't know, maybe just Epcot then?
Wait, I got it. We'll poison the food supply. Bang, bitch.
Sir, they're already doing that themselves.
Oh, God.
This is the spiritual battle, folks, and God wins in the end, so chin up, soldiers. Boom! I mean, oh no, our greatest ally is getting treated like the sand people. That's so sad.
Oh, God. You know, geez, that's just terrible.
You don't have to go to hell. You're in hell. This is hell. This is hell. This is hell.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
then strangled them, and finally dismembered their bodies.
Bright.
Then do
Available.
and homelessness and all that.
And now, the voice you've been waiting for.
There is a secret song at the center of the world, and its sound is like razors through flesh. I'm here to turn up the volume.
Thanks, guys. Good thing the Dow hit 50,000. And if you're still not following Jake GTV, you're probably a total pussy. Definitely a loser, most likely. Retarded.
They sure do like to play games with the numbers. On Wednesday morning, I pulled up my video from last Monday, and it said that it was at 1,600 views. But then when you click on the description, it says 192. And this is one reason why, as much as I love the likes and comments, it really is the sharing it out that means the most. Even though I may not be aware that you shared it out, I can assure you it does mean a lot, and I do appreciate it. And this is a time where we should all be trying to elevate people that we feel deserve a bigger audience, because so many of the people that have come up and gotten big in the last 5 to 10 years are now talking in unison like a bunch of stupid assholes. And it's past time for a new generation to rise up, people that still at least appear to have authenticity and integrity. So if you have any suggestions for channels I should maybe check out, feel free to drop it in the comments. This is a channel I wanted to highlight today, someone I've been following for about 6 or maybe 7 years now. He's a former Marine who started a survival gear company and basically started the channel to promote it, and he has grown himself a respectable sized audience, but he's one of the few people that hasn't really started pissing me off lately, and he puts out a lot of good info/intel, so go check it out if you feel so inclined. Okay, so what should we talk about first?
The war, obviously.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so we're now at day 16 or 17, depending on who you ask, of the war with Iran. Oh, excuse me, the preemptive retaliatory de-escalation action. Whatever you want to call it, it's not going quite like they drew it up on the board.
Well, no shit.
And keep in mind that by this point in time in the Iraq invasion, W had already given his mission accomplished speech. But this country isn't just multiples larger in size and population. They have the equivalent of the Rocky fucking Mountains on every side. That, and they've known this day was coming for decades. And I remember at the end of last year when they were stacking up all the assets around Venezuela, I was worried about it being a setup and they might try a Bay of Pigs type of embarrassment to Trump. And then after seeing how amazingly successful that was, I started thinking,
I don't like it. It was too easy.
I think as much as anything else, that operation was to build it up into Trump's head that if we could do that, then our military could literally do anything we want. And by no means am I simply trying to make light of the situation.
I understand everyone's shit's emotional right now.
But with what's probably about to happen, you are going to need to hang on to every shred of sense of humor you've got. This situation is so bad and so ridiculously fucking stupid that if I don't find a way to chuckle about it, I'm going to lose my shit. Take, for example, the jackassy propaganda videos that the White House has been putting out lately. Not only is this goofy as fuck, but it makes you look so flippant and callous. That little bit I put together in the beginning of this video is better than this bullshit. And I spent all of 5 minutes putting that together. And I was gonna put more into that, but I found my attention being dragged off in so many different directions. I'm seeing far better and far less cringy propaganda coming out of the Iranians. And that is not a fun thing for me to say. I'm just looking at it objectively. What they put out has a far more serious tone to it. The silliness of the Lego thing seems to actually be a response to the White House putting out this stupid video game meme videos. First with the Grand Theft Auto and now with a bunch of Nintendo bullshit. It just seems like at every level this is being handled in the stupidest way possible by the United States government. I look at the Secretary of Energy. He suddenly and inexplicably decided to put out a tweet saying, oh yeah, guess what? The Strait of Hormuz is open. In fact, we got a Navy destroyer escorting a ship right now.
Are you sure?
Actually, no.
No.
So then he deletes that tweet, causing the oil markets to go crazy. Then it makes me wonder, why? Why would you do something so stupid? I mean, sure, theoretically, somebody could do something like that on purpose, knowing that that would make oil futures immediately spike, and you could make a lot of money off of that foreknowledge. But I'm sure that's not what's going on there at all. And then there was the girls' school next to the Iranian base that got hit, killing somewhere between 150 and 170 young girls. And all the different excuses and deflections have been so stupid it's hard to even pick my favorite. We heard, oh, well, it's because they put that school right next to the base so that they can hide behind civilians like Hamas. Yeah, okay, you go into a U.S. military base and all the soldiers' families are staying on that base. Their children go to school on that base. But we're gonna say, oh, how dare them have a base next to a school in their own fucking country. Then they said, oh, well, we think it was actually an Iranian missile because they're so inaccurate. So we're just pretending like the Iranians haven't been conducting extremely precise missile strikes from like 1,500, 2,000 miles away. No, now they're so inaccurate that they hit a school right next to their own fucking base. So then when videos came out and they said, oh shit, that looks like a tomahawk, the excuse was, well, you know, a lot of countries have tomahawks. We sell tomahawks to a lot of countries. And how many of those countries are involved in this? Okay, and out of those countries that are involved in this conflict that are using tomahawks, who has a very recent and extensive history of accidentally having missile strikes kill civilians and specifically children and then basically reacting to it like,
Oops, my bad.
I mean, who does that sound like?
Aha! Aha!
Yes, the U.S. investigation is concluded U.S. responsibility, and maybe it was, but the fact that the school actually got hit twice in a double tap makes me think that it was possibly somebody else and the U.S. is just covering for them. And I think this perfectly illustrates the problem I have with Hanlon's razor and the people that use and abuse it to be overly dismissive of any kind of corruption or malfeasance possibly taking place. Because the point at which a situation is no longer adequately explained by stupidity is completely subjective and easily influenced by hopium and denial. And from the strategy down to the public messaging, to me, this just seems too stupid and incompetent to not be on purpose. This is a trap. The neocons that have always hated Trump have managed to maneuver him into a position where he's almost certainly going to completely destroy his fucking legacy. On top of it being a huge help for the Greater Israel Project, plus a perfect excuse for a total financial collapse. A collapse which has been engineered, the US dollar very deliberately, very incrementally destroyed. But this gives the perfect excuse to point and say, see, it's because of the war. And there's really no way that Trump is going to back down now. His ego cannot allow that. After 1 week in telling everybody that, oh, you know, we basically won already. It's just a matter of mopping up the rest. He basically portrayed them as being too stupid to realize that they've been beat.
I didn't hear no bell.
And I don't doubt that that's exactly what his advisors were telling him. Oh, yes, sir, we've completely wiped out all their shit. You should demand a total and unconditional surrender from them. So he comes out and says, all right, we've won. Let's go ahead and let this wind down and put a stop to it. To which the Iranians responded,
stop? Bitch, I have just started.
And the problem now is that even if Trump wanted to kind of back out of this, he wouldn't be able to, because they're still going to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed unless their demands are met, which are basically that the U.S. evacuates all of their bases in the Middle East. Keeping that strait closed could literally cause the global economy to crash, and the fact that we have extreme air and naval superiority isn't enough to secure this area. The only way to do that is with boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You were waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
So you're saying that Iran is ready and willing to take on the U.S. military if there were to be ground troops?
Well, we were ready for this war even more than the previous war. So you can see, the quality of our missiles, how much they are upgraded after the last war, because we learned lots of lessons. And we are prepared for any other eventuality, even, a ground invasion. So our soldiers are prepared for any scenario. When I said that we are waiting for them, it didn't mean that we are waiting for continuation of the war. No, but we have prepared ourselves to confront with any scenario, with any eventuality, any possibility, and we know that we can handle that.
Look at this knucklehead's face. He clearly has never even entertained the possibility that these people have done more to prepare for this eventuality than what had previously been thought. And now it's officially been announced the possible deployment of 5,000 Marines, on top of the 82nd Airborne suddenly canceling an exercise they were doing at the last minute.
And you know what that means. And you know what that means, right?
I've heard Matt Bracken say that he thinks this is going to end up like the Battle of Gallipoli in World War I, which if you don't know that story, you should look into it, because holy shit was that a disaster. But personally, this really reminds me of the Battle of Thermopylae, and quite ironically so, because back then it was the Persians invading Greece, and the Spartans managed to draw them into a choke point and funneled them into a fight where the fact that they were outnumbered and outgunned no longer mattered. And now here they are on the other side of that equation, facing an invading force with far superior power, but this is their hot gates. This is their choke point, and they've had all the time in the world to prepare for this fight. So I don't know what's about to happen next, but I do not have a good feeling about it.
Because I know the president respects your opinion, if you had a chance to talk to the president today, what would be Eric Prince's recommendations to the commander-in-chief?
Don't ever contemplate ground troops in Iran.
You think that's even a possibility?
I didn't think this was a possibility today, over the last couple of days, Steve. I didn't really think that was that he was going to do it.
Nor do I have a good feeling about the possibilities of what we could be about to see happen in the U.S. In fact, I think I'm going to need my thinking cap for this. That's better. So the FBI put out this little alert talking about how, oh no, they might be about to fly some drones into California from some ship at sea, which brought a lot of people back to that New Jersey drone story from the end of 2024. Well, because there was that one dude, what's-his-nuts, that was saying that there was an Iranian drone mothership out at sea.
Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly.
And the explanation we ended up getting for all of that turned out to be a bunch of stupid bullshit. But people have been bringing this back up and saying, how the hell could there be an Iranian vessel off the coast and nothing be done about it? Well, it's not going to be some Iranian ship. It would be drones inside of a shipping container loaded onto a cargo ship. And even if this is a real threat that comes out of solid intel, that's still not the biggest threat we face. You got to think about all the shit tons of people that came across our southern border for 4 years, and we really have no idea how many sleeper cells were in there. And even if that threat is completely overblown, which is possible, there's nothing to prevent somebody else from pulling off some major attack and pretending like it was Iranian sleeper cells. And if that's the case, there'll be maybe several incidents that happen across the country. When you had news on Thursday breaking back to back about the synagogue in Michigan getting attacked by some dude driving his car into it, and then the shooting that happened in Virginia at Old Dominion, some people thought maybe that was the beginning of the sleeper cell attacks. But no, that guy in Michigan, a bunch of his family just got killed in some airstrikes in Lebanon by the Israelis, apparently. And then the shooter at Old Dominion turned out to be an army vet who was convicted of trying to provide material support to ISIS. And props to the ROTC jocks at Old Dominion for taking his ass out. I was laughing so hard when I watched that press conference.
There were students that were in that room that subdued him, and Crediton
no longer alive. I don't know how to say it, but they basically were able to terminate the threat.
So he was not shot.
He was not shot.
And really, that leaves a lot open to interpretation. I mean, did they strangle him to death? Did they stomp him to death? I heard it was a knife, but regardless, I pretty much immediately felt highly confident that this wasn't the beginning of major sleeper cell attacks. But they might be coming. Something else that got put out last week was the claim that they had intercepted some kind of comm that was allegedly the go code to these sleeper cells. But that go code doesn't necessarily mean go now. They could have different codes to say go in a few days, go in a week, go on a particular date, if you don't get the abort code between now and then. I keep thinking about something that BB said last week. Something about how they're gonna get the Messiah to come, but it's not gonna happen next Thursday. Next Thursday of all dates. This Thursday being the final day of the holy month of Ramadan. I think those assholes might have something planned for this Thursday, or maybe the day after. Or it legit could be that the sleeper cells go on Thursday or Friday. And if that's what it is, I have a feeling you're gonna know it.
How will I know?
Because all fucking hell is gonna break loose.
And my biggest suspicion/concern remains an attack on the US power grid in some form or fashion. But specifically kinetic attacks on those giant transformers that we don't have any backups for, and you have to order them more than a year out because very few people make the kind of steel that's required for these things. And honestly, that's what I would do. If I were a bad actor looking to hurt this country, you couldn't possibly get more bang for your buck than taking down the power grid. No power grid means basically no internet. And then in all likelihood, Americans would kill each other in numbers that would make an invading force envious. That and the fact that our power grid could have been hardened and secured for less than the cost that we've already spent on this fucking war just seems a little too stupid to be by accident. God, I hope I'm fucking wrong about that.
I got something to show you, Bert.
What is it? Is it titties?
Nope, a flashbang.
And now, the weekly flashbang.
So if you bought like a DeWalt laser level at Home Depot and it paints that line across the wall, and then you put something in front of the laser to kind of diffuse it. So you take it from being a really thin laser line and then spread that sucker out so it's like 6 inches wide, big fat line of laser on the wall. And then you get somebody that's on DMT or psychedelics, almost any psychedelic, I think. When you look at that, you can see, number one, you can see through the wall.
You can see through the wall?
You can see through the wall.
Where the laser is, or just through the wall?
Right where the laser is, you can see through the wall. You can even put it on your arm, and the code changes on your arm. If your arm gets in front of where the wall is, the code is completely different.
Are you what?
I didn't believe this. So this was viral on TikTok. Someone stole the TikTok video and reposted it on their X account. I saw this guy. His name is Danny Goler. And he's one of my good friends if you want to have him on.
I'm listening.
I'll put you guys in touch. So I see this video, and I'm watching the behavior of the people observing everything to see if they're lying. 'Cause I'm a behavioral expert. I'm looking for deception and lies and all this stuff all the time. They were all truthful. So I called my assistant. I said, get this guy, wherever he is, fly him to my house, or fly him where we can meet up somewhere. I want to try this out. So we flew to a place. We wound up flying to a place where DMT is not illegal. And we shine this thing on the wall. And I've never done DMT before until this day. And oh my God, that's a whole nother 3-hour podcast. But while you are in the DMT state, you get close to the wall and you can see code that looks kind of like alien writing, like you'd see, and then some that look like kanji, Japanese characters. But the thing is, when you're hallucinating something, like sometimes hallucinations change and warp and modify a little bit. This is permanent, solid. So like, and if you move your head, the code stays in the same place. And if you move the laser on the wall, like you take the laser level and scoot it up, different code reveals itself as the laser is moving.
Wow.
And then you get 2 or 3 people lined up and they all see the same thing.
You know, I remember seeing something regarding this not too long ago, and I completely forgot all about it. But I do find this matrixy shit pretty interesting, especially when you're talking about things like the simulation and multiverse theories and the possible role that CERN might be playing with that. It becomes an almost sort of cathartic rabbit hole to explore. So yeah, if any of you have any good leads on that front, drop a link down in the comments. Something to give my brain the occasional break from the following and documenting this shit show of a war, as I am having a really hard time seeing a path or a possible plot line where this doesn't get all fucked up. We may have started this war, that's the easy part. That doesn't mean we get to decide where it goes or when it ends. And it's really sad to see how many people are buying into the wartime propaganda again. There was a hope, coming out of the pandemic that there was this great awakening happening due to that had opened a lot of people's eyes up and made them see. But if there was a great awakening, a lot of those people have dozed back off. And at this point, it's still hard to say exactly how bad this gets and how quick it gets there. There's so much we still don't know at this point. Shit, at this point, we don't even fucking know if Netanyahu is still alive. He missed some security and military meetings that he always is there for, and then starts putting out these stupid proof of life videos that look very much fake. I think my favorite is the one where his wedding ring just magically vanishes. But I don't know, it makes me wonder. How could they really not have access to better AI with the Palantir-type connections they've got? Is this just being thrown out there as a fake red herring? Give people yet another distraction to talk about? Honestly, I could go either way with that one. But what I do know is we still got a long way down to go, and plenty of time to get there, so if it turns out that nothing really major jumps off this week, I will be perfectly happy to be wrong. The day that I really keep looking at is July 4th. The 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration, 250 years also being the widely accepted lifespan of empires. There are several reasons why that's the perfect day for some major fuckery. So I guess that's something to look forward to. Sláinte.
All I have in this world is my thoughts and my word, and I don't break them for no one. You understand? So say good night to the bad guy. 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 Come on. Come on. with me! I told you! Don't fuck with me! I told you! Don't fuck with me! You stupid fuck! Look at you now! Look at you now!
Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere. Because there's no one like you.